How's it going out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you. So let's go right into this movie review and see what I saw. So this last Sunday, I had the chance of checking out an awesome new CGI animated Pixar film that has been 14 years in the making for this sequel to come out. And it's just such a great, amazing, just storyline and cast and just a great movie series. And that, of course, is the awesome Pixar film, like I said, The Incredibles 2. Now, The Incredibles 2, like I said, is 14 years in the making for this sequel that we've been waiting for since 2004. It was well worth the wait, people. Let me tell you, this movie was just fantastic and amazing. I even think that this one tops the first one. Now, this awesome film is none other directed by the same gentleman that directed the first film. And that, of course, is Mr. Brad Bird. Now, Brad Bird, you might recognize as the director of some great films and just all around just a really awesome director that has great visions and just is really awesome and just knows what he's doing when he's, directing a film. Now, particularly, there are two films I really enjoyed that he directed. Now, one of them happens to be a 1999 awesome animated feature that's taking place during the Cold War, or I should say during the 1950s when, atomic bombs were really being, dropped and tested and stuff like that. And, during this time frame, a lot of people, a lot of kids when they were going to school had to duck and cover under their desk and be prepared for, atomic war and stuff like that. But this film happens to be an awesome, like I said, 1999 animated film called The Iron Giant. Now, The Iron Giant, if you're not familiar with, like I said, just like previously, is basically during the 1950s, where this little kid encounters this robot of some kind, believing that it's like an alien life form or an alien creature or alien-made machine. Basically comes down and he kind of befriends the giant and has to do with, the military getting involved and him trying to save the giant from being destroyed or being taken by the military, basically. It's a great animated film. Brad Bird directed the crap out of it. He just did a really good job with it. His vision of it was really awesome. It just was a really well done animated film and probably one of my favorites from 1999. I just thought it was so well done, and I thought Brad Bird did a really good job of, giving us an awesome story with a great voice cast too, by the way. You had Christopher McDonald do a voice in it. You had Jennifer Aniston, Harry Connick Jr. It was just a really awesome cast and just a fun animated film. Now, one other film that I really enjoyed him in and enjoyed his directing in was an awesome Tom Cruise film, and also the fourth film in the awesome Mission Impossible series. And that, of course, is the awesome Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Now, if you're not familiar with Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, like I said, this is the fourth awesome, Mission Impossible film. Tom Cruise, once again, plays Ethan Hawke, Ethan Hunt, not Hawke. And, he just plays a cool, secret agent again. There's a lot of great new characters added to it. Jeremy Renner, we see Simon Pegg again. Ving Rhames comes back. And it's just a really awesome and excellent action-packed, film. And I thought Brad Bird had a really good eye for what action entails. Simply for the fact that, like in The Iron Giant and the first Incredibles, he really, showed a lot of great action sequences. And he did the same thing with Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. He made a great action film and a great addition to that awesome series. Now, when it comes to The Incredibles 2, it was so worth waiting for him to redirect and direct this sequel because he made it so stinking amazing. Put even a lot more action sequences in this film, just great storyline, and he beautifully directed this Pixar film and made it a great new addition to the Pixar universe. He alone, I don't feel, anybody else could, direct The Incredibles like he does. And he just brought, once again, another great directing job and brought to us a great sequel that was really worthy of waiting for 14 years for. And he did such an amazing job with it. Very pleased with it, and I thought he did a great directing duties with this film. Now, once again, this movie has a great all-star cast like the previous film. And this movie the cast just gets better and better. And it was so nice to see that majority of, the original cast came back to do the voices. And, a few newcomers came and added their awesome voice talents to the movie that made it even more entertaining. Now, to start off this awesome cast, we have none other than Mr. Incredible himself, Craig T. Nelson. Now, Craig T. Nelson you might recognize from the TV show Coach that was on for almost 10 years. You might recognize him from a slew of TV movies. You might recognize him from a slew of other movies over the years. Now, a couple films I really enjoyed him and thought he was fantastic in. Even though they weren't the hugest roles, they still were really fantastic films. Now, one of these films happens to be a 1980 awesome Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor film, and that happens to be called Stir Crazy, where Craig T. Nelson actually plays the warden where they get put into prison in the film, and he just played the prison, warden so freaking hilariously. I just loved how he interacted with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. I just loved his character, and I just thought he did a really good job of playing a warden to the T, because he really had kind of that warden feel down, like you've seen in previous movies, or if you've ever known a real warden. He just had that same appeal, and definitely was like, you felt like he did his research and taken on this role and really became a warden. And I thought he did a really good job with it and made the funny movie even more funny and more enjoyable. Now, another great film that he was in that's a great comedy that stars Jon Heder and the awesome Will Ferrell, and I just think he plays a great character in this film, and it's just a really fun, hilarious, comedy film. And that, of course, is the film Blades of Glory. Now, if you're not familiar with what Blades of Glory is, basically it's about two male ice skaters that become the first couple on ice of just fully men. And they have to do this because they get kicked out of regular ice skating that they were in, the men's regular. And basically, Craig T. Nelson plays their coach. And he's absolutely hilarious in the film. He's so super funny. I love his character. I love how he has to interact with Will Ferrell and Jon Heder, and just how, obnoxious they are. And just, how he tries to play kind of like the level-headed person among all of them and having to deal with them. And he just was, super hilarious, and I absolutely loved him. I thought he was a perfect pick for that role, because he was so great in Coach too, because he's a great comedian. I just thought he brought that comedic element he had in Coach to Blades of Glory and just made a really fun and great role. But it comes to playing Mr. Incredible again, he once again brought the voice to the T. He was so awesome again as Mr. Incredible's voice. I loved it. I love that he was, still Mr. Incredible, that passion behind his voice when he does the voiceover, which is so amazing. He just brought a lot of great warmth and new characterization to Mr. Incredible after the last 14 years, and he just did a great job again. He really, truly is. His voice is Mr. Incredible, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I hope that they get to do another film and he gets to play Mr. Incredible again. Now, another awesome talent that returned from the first film, and that plays Mrs. Incredible, or Elastigirl in this one, or in the first one as well, is none other than Miss Piano herself, Holly Hunter. Now, Holly Hunter you might recognize from her TV show on TNT that she did for a while. You might recognize her from The Piano. You might recognize her from the movie 13, and a slew of other films. But a couple films I really enjoyed her and thought she was just super fantastic in were none other than the awesome original film to this awesome sequel, of course, the Pixar film The Incredibles. Now, once again, she played Elastigirl in the original film as well, Mrs. Parr, Mrs. Incredible, if you would like to call her that. And she just, her kind of voice that she has, it's so distinct, and it just was perfect for Elastigirl. That kind of that slurliness that she has to it, that kind of accent she has, it just brought a lot of great character to Elastigirl, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was fantastic they got her back for the sequel as well to do the voice. She just did a really good job, and I really believed her to be Elastigirl in the first film, and I thought she just did a really fantastic job. Now, another fantastic movie she was in that I think she's absolutely one of her best films of all time. And I thought she was fantastic, amazing in the film, and just really, really brought together that character and role and just made a great film. And that, of course, is in the awesome Sigourney Weaver, Harry Connick Jr. film, Copycat. Now, Copycat, if you're not familiar with it, is basically about a serial killer that basically Sigourney Weaver encounters at a deposition, because she's kind of like a psychologist / kind of a lawyer type of person, and Harry Connick Jr. tries to kill her, and then she basically becomes a claustrophobic and just stays in her house all the time. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a few years later, all of a sudden, famous serial killers markings or their kills are starting to resurface again, like somebody's repeating or copycatting those. And so Sigourney Weaver and then Holly Hunter comes in as the detective that's on this case, and they help each other. And just Holly Hunter did a great job in the film, just did an amazing job. She was just awesome as that detective. I loved her performance. I thought she was so perfect for the role. She really brought to life that character, gave her a lot of great feelings, and you felt her, you believed her, and I just thought she really worked well with everyone in the film, and just made a fantastic thriller film. Once again, like I said, that's, I think, her best role of all time. She was just so fantastic in it, and I really enjoyed her, and I thought she was super funny in it, too, as well, because she had some good, like, kind of comedic lines, a couple items in the film, and I just thought she was really dramatically well, in the film, too, as well. She just did a really fantastic job. Really impressed by it, and did a great job. But when it comes to playing Elastigirl in The Incredibles 2, once again, she brought that great voice to the role. She brought a lot more life to Elastigirl. Elastigirl got so much more face time in this film, so she got a lot more lines this time around, and I thought it was fantastic. And that we got to know more about Mrs., Incredible Elastigirl slash Mrs. Parr, and, just how she thought, how her stunt work was, how she, took care of villains and stuff like that. I thought they did a really good job of bringing that in. I thought Holly did a really good job of expressing that through her voiceover, and just made a really fun and, once again, entertaining role. Another great actress that returns to a voice in this role that was also in the first film was none other than an actress and voiceover artist known as Miss Sarah Vowell. Now, Sarah Vowell you might recognize from the first film as Violet Parr, that's in the film. Now, she really hasn't done a lot of, movie roles or anything like that. She's actually done very few. She's done a few voiceover roles, a few video games and stuff like that. But other than the first Incredibles as one of her filmographies or one of her actual movies that she was a part of, she was only in one other film where she had a very small part that wasn't really super huge, but at the same time it still was a very memorable and funny role. And that is in this Adam Scott film called ACOD, which basically, I actually haven't seen the film, but I heard that it's a pretty funny film, and it's basically about a guy kind of with OCD, but in a totally different type of form of it. And Sarah Vowell plays this one character that he interacts with throughout in the film, and that small part though makes a really funny part and funny scene for the movie. And I heard that she did a really good job with that, and it actually makes me interested in seeing the movie just to see that actual role that Sarah Vowell did. But once again, bringing back Violet to life in the second Incredibles, she did an amazing job. That distinct voice that she also has, like Holly Hunter does, she just really brought again the greatness to Violet, and we got to see a lot more of Violet in this one too, I thought. And I thought that she was able to express and show more of who Violet is, and where she comes from, and how she is, and just how she deals with things. And I thought she did a really fantastic job once again in doing the voiceover and making that such a wonderful and awesome character again, and just made it a fun and interesting role again, and just really brought that awesome voice to life again, which was really fun. So to round out this awesome cast, we have none other than another gentleman that returned to do a voiceover of the film that was just a fantastic, awesome character that really didn't get much screen time in the first film, but got a lot in actually this second one, which I was very happy with, because I think he's such a great character and just fun to watch. And that, of course, is Frozone himself, Mr. Samuel L. Jackson. Now, Samuel L. Jackson, once again, reprises the role of Frozone, and, just brings back together to that character life and just awesomeness, and just brings a really fun and interesting character back to life. Now, you might recognize Mr. Sam Jackson from such films as Pulp Fiction. You might recognize him from The Hateful Eight. You might recognize him from Django Unchained. You might recognize him from a slew of films, Black Snake Moans, Shaft, the movie, and so forth. But a couple of films I really enjoyed him and thought he was fantastic in were none other than an awesome 2006 film that's kind of like a monster B-movie type of film. And a lot of people thought it was stupid, but I think this movie is absolutely fantastic and awesome. I thought Sam Jackson was just so awesome in it. And that, of course, is the film Snakes on a Plane. And this awesome film I just think is hilarious and fun, and, just a great, snake monster type of movie, along the lines of Anaconda and films like that, Mimic, that came out around that time and stuff like that. And I just thought that this movie was super fun. I loved it. I thought that having Kenan Thompson in it was super hilarious, and just everyone involved in it was just a super funny and awesome kind of just horror kind of comedy film slash B type of film. And I thought it was decent for what it was. It wasn't anything supposed to be Oscar worthy. It was just fun and entertaining. And I thought Samuel Jackson was really awesome in it, and absolutely enjoyed him and thought he did a great job. Another great film that Sam Jackson was in that I think is absolutely another fantastic film of his and just super hilarious and has a great cast, that stars the great Eugene Levy, and it is called The Man. Now, The Man, if you're not too familiar with that film, of course, it's basically about Sam Jackson plays this ATF agent that ends up having to take in Eugene Levy to help him with a case that he's working because he interferes on an accident, not, by choice. He just happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And basically it's kind of like a comedy action, buddy cop type of film, along the lines of like Rush Hour or the 48 Hours and so forth. And I just thought it was a super hilarious movie. I love Sam Jackson. I just think he's hilarious. I loved his look. And I just thought he played such a great, that typical asshole Samuel Jackson character. And his accompaniment with Eugene Levy was perfect because Eugene Levy is so stinking hilarious in it. And it just was a really fun and entertaining film. And Sam Jackson really brought a great comedic element to the film, too, as well, along with Eugene Levy. And just made a great action comedy film. Just really fantastic. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, people. It's worth a watch. So entertaining and fun and just super hilarious. Really fun to watch and just... definitely check it out, people. It's worth a watch. But like I said, once it comes again to bringing back Frozone to Incredibles 2, is so worth the wait. 14 years. Because Sam Jackson came back and played the same character and did such an amazing job. Just made a really great, characterization of Frozone. Gave us a little bit more information on Frozone and his relationship with his wife and kind of his character, his abilities, and what he's able to do, and just basically giving us a whole new idea and giving us more action from Frozone, like back in his glory days. And I just thought it was great that we get to see him and him get to really get set loose again and see more of him. It was so much fun, and I was so glad that they brought him back and Sam Jackson did the voice again. And I just thought he did such a great job with the voiceover and just made, once again, Frozone so awesome. Absolutely love Frozone. Thought he was so fantastic. So if you're not familiar with what The Incredibles 2 is about, basically this one takes place right after the first one ends. And basically shows the encounter with the Underminer and then basically goes into a whole new scenario where there's this rich couple or rich guy and his sister that are trying to get superheroes the rights again that they had before they were considered to have to go underground. And basically it's a movie's about bringing supers back along with using Elastigirl as the face. And as she's doing this, basically encounters this new enemy that she has to take down and basically needs to show that supers can do things correctly and not make a huge mess like they supposedly did the last few times, and why they decided to make supers go underground. And basically it's about the Parr family again, them dealing with their life and trying to get back to being superheroes and so forth again. So I mean, once again, it's just a great story again and just awesome movie. Once again, brought back such great, animated, character and family and characters, and just a really fun film again. Once again, like I said, this movie I feel is so much better than the first one. I love that so much more action in it. I love that there was so much more comedy in it. I just thought the animation even got even better, and I love that we got to see more of Jack Jack. And I just thought that they did a really good job with this, and it was really worth, like I said, the 14 years to wait. If you haven't seen this, definitely go check it out, people. It's worth a watch. I saw it in 3D. I thought it was awesome in 3D. Definitely check it out. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up. Can't wait for this to come out on 4K so I can get this because it's just going to be so awesome. Just a really well done sequel, people. Don't take it from me, but check it out. See if you think it's better than the first, or you think the first is still the best. But in my opinion, I really thought that this one was even better than the first one. I loved the whole idea behind it and everything about it. Just a really fantastic film. Definitely go check it out. Worth a watch, people. So fun. So that's it for this movie review, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, if you've been here before and you haven't hit that subscribe button, What are you waiting for? A grand invitation? Hit that subscribe button so to miss one of these awesome videos or any of the awesome videos I put up. And as always, keep your eyes out for any older, newer videos you might not have seen yet. And also, please check out the awesome Horror Pack. Now, Horror Pack is an awesome subscription service that comes right to your door every month of awesome horror films. Now, this you can either get in DVD or Blu-ray format in 4 different movies. And this awesome pack comes with limited editions you can't get anywhere else either. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and hit that link down below and go ahead and sign up. And then if you end up signing up, you'll get a discount in your first month too. Right on, discount, people. And also, check out the awesome Stardust app, people, especially if you're a huge movie fan. What better way to also watch mini reviews on, movies, trailers, TV shows, all kinds of cool stuff on a little app, just kind of like Vines or like YouTube itself, the mobile YouTube or whatever, where you can watch 3 to 30-second little mini reviews of all kinds of good stuff. And also, this app is always updating and adding new features to it. So definitely check that out in the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store. Go ahead and download it and then look me up under Cyberneticshark and follow me, and then I'll follow you back. And as always, catch you in the next one.